What's up, dude?
What is going on?
First podcast. Hell yeah, dude.
Yes,
Damn, dude. This is crazy.
I think this is your first time being in front of the lights on a microphone.
Yeah. And talking for like, it almost feels like kind of nerve-wracking. It's not like talking just like normally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to be like subconscious of what you're saying instead of just saying it. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I think like once you do it a couple of times, then it's a little bit more normal and it just picks up naturally.
For sure.
I thought almost like it would be more like when you're talking to a friend, but now that you're like sitting here and with all the cameras and everything, it's almost like, oh shit, what do I want to talk about?
Now it feels like you're talking in front of an audience without an audience. Like we're at home, but you can't tell.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's why it's 2:00 and I have vodka here.
2:30 alcoholic is out.
I offered for you to join, but you didn't want to.
Well, somebody has to drive home.
Listen, did you take your bike here?
No. So the funny thing about the bike actually is I'm thinking of selling it right now.
Oh, why so?
Well, it is 100 degrees at the beginning of June.
Oh, yeah.
How often am I really going to ride it? Especially now since I've graduated. The main reason I bought it was to commute to Sac State, and I don't know if I'm going to really commute with a bike. Well, like, say I'm at my job and I'm like wearing a suit and tie. Am I really going to take a sport bike to work?
But then, like, when it cools down, you're not going to want it back?
Yeah, that's when it'll hurt, for sure. That's when it'll hurt. My BMW is not that fast.
Hey, so I actually had the reason why I wanted to sit down with you was I had I was interested, like, kind of like your family's background and how you guys came here and like how old were you? And because I know, like, I immigrated here when I was 8. Our family, basically our whole family moved after a couple of our siblings moved here. And then I was like, I went to first and second grade there, and then we moved over here. So my experience is like kind of interesting. I don't know. How old were you when you moved over here?
I was actually born here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But my parents were not born here. My dad is from India.
Uh-huh.
So he moved here when he was, I believe, 12.
Oh.
My mom's from England.
Oh.
So my mom moved here after my dad married her. So let me go back.
Okay.
My dad's in India, and my dad has 2 brothers
Okay.
and a sister. And my dad's older brother went to America first before everybody.
Okay.
And he brought everybody here. My grandma, my uncle, and then my dad.
Okay.
I don't know how. I think my uncle has a cousin in England.
Okay.
They went to visit her, and then they met my mom's side of the family. My uncle married my mom's sister.
Okay.
And then from that, a couple years later, my dad married my mom. So technically, I have a double relation to my aunt.
Okay.
So she's like, because she's my dad's brother's wife, and then
Okay.
she's my mom's sister. So I have double relation to them.
All that always like is confusing to me because like I remembered it like in my own native language, like all those relations, and it's like aunt, cousin, all that stuff. I'm like,
It's weird. In English, it sounds weird.
yeah.
But in Punjabi, which what I speak,
Yeah.
sounds perfectly fine. Like, I have a word to call him. I don't have a word to call him in English. Like, my dad's brother's wife.
But do you actually speak fluent Punjabi?
Yeah, so I can speak it, I can read it, and I can write it.
Let's see if we can adjust this. Like, I think, oh, there we go. It should be like right in front. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, like right here.
Yeah, perfect. Was it like your dad that wanted to make sure that you still are able to like do all your? How many siblings do you have?
So I have 1 brother,
Uh-huh.
and then I have 5 cousins.
Oh, okay. So you don't have 1 brother. How old is he?
My brother is 4.5 years younger than me, so he's 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you guys both like fluent?
My brother a little less.
Yeah.
We're not like fluent, but we can get by.
Oh, okay.
Main reason is grandma still speaks Punjabi, doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
A lot of Indians that move here, they just kept Punjabi going, and it definitely moving here has gotten less. A lot more Indian kids of this generation don't speak Punjabi that well.
Like my dad tried for like the longest time to like keep up the flame and everything. But
it's hard, man.
Yeah. Especially like if you don't really do it on a regular basis, it's almost like equate it to math. It's almost like a language, math itself. You lose that if you don't use it all the time, like all the high-end math and with language. What was easy for me, though, like if I'm immersed in it, like if I go back to a place where they don't speak English at all and I start speaking Russian, because I lost it for a while. And then I was like, oh, crap, dude. It's actually a really convoluted kind of language to speak. To write it, it's really easy.
Really? And it looks very difficult to write.
No, actually, like the spelling and everything is very simple. Like you put these letters together, it makes this sound no matter what.
Yeah, it's the same way of Punjabi. It's just you learn how the characters, what sound they make, and then you just translate it to a word. It's all it is, just sound.
Yeah. But English is much easier to speak than Russian. Russian is very, very hard because like not only do we have like basically for different words, like they'll have different sexes to them. Like it'll be male or female. Do you guys have the same thing?
Yep.
So yeah, that's why it was like I lost it and I was like, oh shit, this is like actually really difficult.
Yeah, because you could say something in like a female tone and you just sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Like Georgian people always are like made fun of in Russian because it's either Georgian or Armenian because they mix those two and it's like they're calling their wife by the he pronoun and everything. Like, all right, buddy. But yeah, no, I picked it up because like I just basically started driving trucks with co-drivers that only spoke Russian. So, like, if I would to even say, like, one word in English, like, unless it was, like, okay or something like that, like, they wouldn't understand. So I was like, oh, crap. I felt, like, so stupid for a little bit. But then, like, after a couple of months, I picked it up, and it was good. Like, so I'm sure if you go back to, like, India, I'm sure you'd probably pick it back up pretty easily.
For sure. One thing about India, though, is English is actually really big there. So,
yeah,
just as a whole,
yeah,
English is taking over in the world.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty crazy. You go to India and a lot of the signs are in English.
Yeah, and even like in Germany, because like I went there and I was like, oh man, how am I gonna like deal with this or whatever? But like literally any store you go in there, either the clerk speaks English enough to get by, like for you to understand, or they'll find somebody that can speak it. But it's kind of nice though, like the fact that you at least even either grew up in a place that speaks English or like you moved to a place like I was fortunate,
Yeah,
because business, like the world kind of like that's the world language, especially in the business realm. Yeah, if I just only knew Russian, dude, that would suck.
It'd be cool though. You can go back to any country that speaks Russian. There's a lot of them that speak Russian.
Yeah, it's cool in a way,
but in terms of like longevity, is probably not the best.
Yeah. Like if I had to choose one or the other, I'd probably choose English. But like I was kind of like lucky that I realized that, oh man, don't lose Russian. So I actually speak pretty fluent like Russian. I'm gonna do a podcast with my dad.
Nice.
And he's like super old, so he doesn't really speak English at all. So it's gonna have to be all in Russian. And I was just like thinking, like just having the conversation with in my own head, like what I would ask him, like thinking like, okay, how do I say that in Russian? I was like, oh, dude, actually, my Russian's not that bad.
Yeah, so I'll just practice and just going through it. You're gonna make mistakes, and you just gotta get over those.
Yeah, but I mean, language is kind of interesting. Also what I realized when you're a certain age, it's a lot easier for you to pick up both languages. And then after a certain age, you're either slightly worse in one or the other. So like, for example, I was 8. I feel like it's almost like that sweet spot where I was able to pick up English. Like, obviously, I don't really have an accent or anything like that. But I'm also able to speak Russian without an accent. But I have a brother that's 5 years younger. Like his Russian till this day is like, I mean, even though he speaks Russian all the time, you can still hear an accent.
Really?
And then I have a sister that's 2 years older. Her English is not that great. And then like I was like, is that just me or is it like kind of more common? And I started to notice, people, there's only one thing that like kind of differentiates that. If you try to immerse yourself in English as soon as you moved over here, if you're older, your English would be pretty good. But if you're super young and you were immersed in English, you would lose your native language, So I don't know. I think it's actually beneficial to have two languages because like you actually think in a different way. I don't know. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like even math or like language or poetry.
It's easier to
thoughts.
pick up those other topics, I guess.
Concepts.
Especially if you're learning another language. Like when I was in high school, learning Spanish was really easy because I already knew the male-female kind of separation.
Yeah.
And then just picking up another language, you keep, I guess, the ideas you have from, for me, Punjabi, or the other language you have. When you're learning it, you can use the same kind of ideas when you're speaking that language in Spanish or French.
Yeah. Like
how it works. Like sentences are backwards in Punjabi. Same thing in Spanish. In
And
English, the sentence is flipped. Like
what's
if you're
cool?
just only speaking English, you wouldn't know that.
Exactly. It would be like more difficult to adapt to that kind of thinking. But like since you kind of grew up with kind of that idea and that, you're like, oh, it's kind of similar to that. You have more of a, I guess, repertoire and like toolbox to be able to pick up other languages. The other thing that I also like kind of think that we got lucky with is like in America, because like there's so many people from so many different cultures. Even if you make a mistake or whatever, like people are kind of a little bit more used to, I guess there's people that are judgmental anywhere, but like I think like if you go into like a business atmosphere or something like that, like people are a little bit more used to like, because here's what I'm getting at. Like when I speak Russian, I have to sometimes check myself to make sure that I'm not trying to speak English, but in Russian words. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you mean.
And it's like, because it's very evident, like with the Russian speaker, and they're like, they sometimes even comment, they're like, yeah, that's not how exactly it's worded in Russian. He's like, oh, okay. You only pick that up. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is like in English, we have like actually a pretty, like in America, like we have a fairly diverse way of being able to express the same idea in different words. And it's almost like accepted no matter which way you express it. I mean, there's limitations, but I think it's much more like in certain parts, like I'm guessing like England, it's very proper. You have to say it this way or, whatever. But I don't know. Like, I mean, do you consider yourself lucky that you immigrated or you were born in America?
No doubt. I'm 100% super lucky to be exactly where I am, have the life that I have.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
Like, when I was younger, I didn't really realize that. But, like, the more you get to know the world.
Yeah, it's only when as you age and you see what's going on outside of where you are, you take what you have for granted. Like, you realize how nice you actually have it and how other people have it. Yeah,
because some people grow up, no matter where, they'll be complaining about where they're at, or this is, obviously it's not going to be perfect everywhere you go, but, like, considering everything, like, living in America, you're pretty super lucky. Because, like, okay, let's say you don't like the state that you're in. Like, it's super easy. Just move to another state. It's literally a different vibe, different environment, different culture, everything, like whatever you like.
We have the ability to do that.
Yeah,
Some people can't do that.
Yeah.
Outside
in different countries,
and yet that still gets taken for granted.
Yeah.
People I just don't understand that.
People find anything
it's just
to
the people
about.
That don't have outside experience. Like, I have the outside experience through my parents. I saw what they went through when they grew up. And I don't want to go back to that. So I do my best to keep moving forward and not just take anything for granted,
Yeah, I think it's just like a life view. Like, you could be a pessimistic kind of person and you'll find anything to complain about, or you could try to be more optimistic every day. Obviously, there's negativities with being like hopelessly optimistic, and then it's like not doing anything about it.
You have to have a balance.
Yeah. Optimism mixed with action, I think, is the best balance. Because you can't just be on your couch just being like smoking weed like, oh, I think everything's gonna be all right. Hopefully. Yeah, optimism with action, I think that's the best solution. Because like my dad, I realized I'm very similar to him in a lot of ways, but like I also learned a lot of things what not to do. My dad has a lot of wisdom, like innate wisdom, thoughtfulness, looking at things from not just what he's told or like what the society accepts or anything like that. So he's able to think about these different ideas in a different perspective, which that's a positive. He has many other things that are actually very positive, but one thing that I guess maybe growing up in that like Soviet society, he has that innate just pessimism, and like you tell him anything that you want to do, he'll give you 1,000 reasons why it's going to fail. I'm like, instead of that, just give me one solution. I'll take that.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I would have had kind of a similar kind of experience with my parents. Except my parents are usually pretty supportive, but my parents have always been a very realism kind of approach on everything. Like, is what you're doing good? Is it a realistic thing? Is it going to have a good outcome? Realistic? Is it worth putting the time in? Like college, for example.
Oh, so they would ask you to look at what you're trying to do and don't just be hopelessly optimistic. It doesn't make sense. Like you.
A great example that I had just 4 years ago. I wanted to go to college outside of Sacramento. I wanted to go to like Sonoma or something.
Yeah.
4 years younger me doesn't realize that a bachelor's degree isn't really that sought after. Like, it is. It's a very fundamental thing for a job. But going into debt for just a bachelor's degree, not worth it.
Yeah.
My parents said, go to Sac State, commute, and you'll see the benefits, but you're not going to see them immediately. Graduating now, I see why it was 100% a better decision.
Yeah.
I'm not in debt. I have no debt.
That's awesome.
I have a bachelor's degree. I've been at home the whole time.
Yeah. You saved on the cost of living and everything else. Yeah.
I might not have gotten the true college experience, but I got what I was after in 4 years.
Oh, trust me, a lot of those people that got that true college experience, then they're just like, was it worth $300,000 debt?
Is it worth that much debt for a bachelor's degree?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly. know. I think like for maybe a master's or something like that, if you want to go for that, like go to a more prestigious place or whatever. But
a master's, I understand. Yeah, like that's a master's degree. Not many people have that. But a bachelor's degree is pretty common in today's day and age. So
yeah, and especially like in tech, they're not really almost like looking at your paper that you got, that degree. They're looking at your capabilities.
Oh yeah, all that degree shows you is that you could stick to something for 4 years.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's all it shows you. What end of the day, you're gonna have an interview. You're gonna show your abilities right in front of the.
Because you know about like like Google basically is offering kind of like a certification program now. So we're basically they're like they don't even care if you have a bachelor's or anything like that. Like as long as you go through the certification program, you're literally going to be paid the same exact thing. I mean, for a lot of people, they still would prefer to go to like a 4-year college and everything like that, just to have some of that experience. Like for me, honestly, I went for a couple of years. I would want my kid to go to some kind of like college experience because you get exposed to different ideas just outside of like your wheelhouse that you're around. Like
you meet so many different people. Like they have such different ways of thinking, and you never would realize that.
Yeah.
Without going, like when I went, I met so many people. I met some of the best friends I have today. My senior project group. Some of the people in there were super smart. Like the girl in my group, 4.0 the entire college, her whole time in college, 4.0.
Yeah, and
like I barely got a 3.0. And she just like, I would ask her to do something and it'd be done. Like our project, I would say it was pretty much her doing half of it and me doing the other half.
I admire and so jealous of those kind of people. Like they're just gifted in that kind of specific way.
She's just smart. Like she just understands everything. And it's like, I wish I had that kind of level of understanding. I think of myself pretty smart.
Yeah.
Smarter than most people. I'm not going to go out and say I'm smarter than you. I'm not going to, I know, like, if I go answer trivia, I know most of the trivia questions.
And you're able to like pick up like ideas pretty quickly and things like that. Yeah.
But then there's people that are just levels above me.
Yeah. But here's the other flip side of that, right? So there's different, I guess, intelligences, right? Where you could be like your ability to move your body, right? That's kinesthetic intelligence. There's people way more gifted. I'm not saying like strength wise, but like their ability to pick up things like really quickly, like yo, whatever. Like it doesn't have to be strength related. That's one. Emotional intelligence is another. Being able to study is another one. I guess like I'm really butchering it, but you understand what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't always translate that like a person that is good in the classroom is going to be necessarily just great everywhere else. And some people forget about that. They get that confused, and then they get depressed about the fact that like, well, why can't, like, why isn't this successful or this whatever, It's almost like you got to almost like wish for a balance, and I'd want to be fairly good but kind of stupid in everything. But be able to learn, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like being a genius in one thing and just having everything else fall by the wayside,
Yeah, definitely when I was in college, I wasn't good at just one thing. I would say I was pretty average in most topics. And then just finding the topic that I guess spoke out to me the most and kind of leaning towards that direction in my final year it was kind of hard to find, I guess. I was trying to say.
Yeah. Because you weren't sure like what exactly you wanted. Well, everybody goes through that though. Like, I mean, who did you talk to that like was in your class that was like, yeah, I knew I was going to be a freaking astronaut from the time I was 3, and I'm just doing that.
There's always those people that say that. I'm in my beginner coding class, and there's people like, yeah, I've been coding for like 5 years, doing a simple Hello World program. This is just a one-line program, and then you have the people that think that they know everything, and then they go to the next project, they don't know anything.
Yeah, and again, like, is it like they are saying that they know that what they want to do?
Yeah, I mean,
is based because on what they actually decided, or is it like their parents are pushing it, or whatever? That's what I'm saying. It's like it's better for you to find yourself, and you have to also realize what you think your goal is for the rest of your life at this age. It's not going to be like in 10, 20 years. Mm-hmm. So, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket and like just try to think like you're going to build your life and that's your image and all that other stuff. Like, just broaden your perspective. Like, that's what college does, actually. It helps you broaden your perspective and see that. And like the right professors, because I actually took like a self-development class, and we read a lot of different articles about that, and we watched videos, and we actually, like, an extra credit assignment was this one movie that God, what's his actor? Anyway, this doesn't matter. Like, but basically, it's Dead Poet Society. Have you ever heard of it?
I think I've heard of it. Yeah, I haven't seen it though.
But it's like the point of it is like you see like this one kid where he kind of excels at things, right? But then like his dad has a hard ass on him, and he's really pushing him to do one thing. But the kid is like realizing like as he's in this boarding school that I kind of like he wanted to do like acting or something like that, right? And his dad's like, hell no, you're not doing that, and the kid is like now like realizing that his dad is literally not going to allow him to do what he realized that he just actually is really passionate about, and his dad does not give a crap about that at all, and it goes to a head that like he just ends his life, and it's like you have to kind of think about it is like sometimes people push themselves towards like a goal that they think it's going to be the means in the end, like to their happiness and everything like that. Like how many people get degrees in, nursing or even sometimes like even more advanced than that, and then they go to a freaking hospital and they realize I can't be around sick people.
Yeah, I don't like
and they're like $300,000 in debt, and they're like, holy crap, what am I gonna do?
You're stuck at that.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying is like, I think if you go to the right kind of school and you're surrounded by the right kind of professors that realize that, they'll help you hone that kind of innate intelligence for yourself inside of yourself that maybe like online classes won't allow you to do that,
100%, yeah.
What would you make your kids do, like in terms of like school and everything like that?
Well, I would let them pick whatever they want.
How would you encourage them to like seek out and find out?
Go after what
interests you. Yeah.
Basically, how I found computer science is high school. I had no idea what I was going to do. Senior year of my high school, I had no idea. But I built my own computer. My first computer ever. I built it. Mm-hmm. And I realized, like, I'm pretty good with this. I could do this. Like, troubleshooting IT, I could do this maybe in the future. I like doing this. Yeah. I'm pretty good at math.
Some people just don't have the patience to troubleshoot.
Yeah, like I could do this, and I'm pretty good at solving problems like that.
And then you're like, oh man,
and then
there's actually kind of money in this too.
I had just taken calculus, and I was like, how can I combine these? And then I found computer science. I didn't know it was going to be coding, strictly coding. I thought there'd maybe be a little bit of hardware, but it's full software. And then I took my first coding class. No prior coding experience. Just went straight into it. Had no idea what I was doing.
And how to go.
It started off rough. I'm not gonna lie.
And you're like, I think that's what I want.
I'm very lucky to have found one of my friends. His name is Paul, and he taught me so much in Java, in C, which are two programming languages.
Yeah.
How to do problems and how to look at them. Taking a big problem, breaking it down step by step.
He was able to like kind of zoom you out of your problem and be like, hey, this is like the different languages. You have to understand that you're working in this language and it talks in this way. And like he was able to like kind of zoom you out, because like a lot of times like when we face anything like in our even personal lives, what I've realized is like you get so focused and so zoomed into your problem that you're just like, you fucking miss the forest for the trees, you're just like so down. So like
I had such a
how'd you meet him though?
I had such a narrow-minded like look on each problem. Like I think the problem that I met him was I had to make a calendar or something, and I had no idea how to do it. And I look over and see he's done already.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you think you can help me out? And he's like, yeah. And then I show him what he's typing. He's like, okay, take a few steps back. Start at the very beginning. What do you have to do? Print just calendar. And then he just goes step by step. And sooner you start super small, printing just a one-line calendar. And your problem goes wider like that. You start solving each different thing. Okay, I need to put this equation to calculate if it's a leap year. And then it'll do that. So he taught me how to start smaller and then go bigger with a problem.
Yeah, just go back to the root.
You want to start small, break it down. What does this problem need, and how do you do it?
Yeah, and if nobody like told you that, like at a certain point, you might have just gave up and just.
I was close to giving up my first class.
Yeah,
and then from there, I would have no idea what to do. So I'm very lucky to have met him and to learn what he taught me, because it got me through college.
Yeah,
that kind of thinking.
Just like, oh yeah, like you said, he was just like a person in the class that you're like, holy crap, he seems like he knows what he's doing. Yeah,
he's just done. He's just better.
Like that girl, you're like, hey, be on my team, do my project.
So she just joined. She was one of my other friends. I honestly thought I was going to do that whole project. I was ready to do the whole thing because my group.
Yeah, so that's what it's like.
I know. I hate group projects. I was ready to do that whole thing.
Yeah,
I did a lot of that project.
No, I don't mind. Like when I was younger, I I was either hoping to be on a group that was going to be able to ride my ship for me, or I was like hoping that I'm not like the one person that's carrying it. But now, like, the more that you work with a broad spectrum of people, I actually enjoy group, projects or whatever, like planning things with people a lot more than just like solitary, like just sit there. I don't mind that either, because like sometimes you just focus and do that. But if you learn how to manage different personalities, find out what their motivations are and all that, like then it's actually really fun. Yeah, that's the challenge though.
I mean, yeah, working in a group is a very necessary skill for not just me, but for everybody.
Yeah.
Especially, like, if you're a nursing major, you got to be able to work in a group.
Yeah.
Just being able to communicate with other teammates and be effective with it is... That's everything right there, yeah. If you can't do that, you're not going to make it very far.
Yeah. Like, I mean, a lot of people want to be successful, right? And they think that it's just going to be them grinding it out by themselves, or whatever. It's like, well, or the opposite. I'm just going to tell people what to do. And it's like, oh, you think you're just going to listen? And they're not going to eventually going to be just like, yo, fuck this guy.
That being said, though, if the group is lagging, like, I'm not going to take a leadership role if I don't have to. I'll sit back and see what the group does. That's just kind of the person I am.
Yeah,
I'm not much of a leader.
That's smart. No, but like when you see that it's needed, it's
if the group is lagging, I will pick up the slack.
Yeah.
Nobody has to tell me that I'm slacking. I know when I'm slacking.
Not just the slack, but it's almost like, hey, am I able to like actually put these people together to work better? What's like kind of holding this person back from like being able to do what they're able to do? I think like that's a very valuable skill. Like, from me just kind of knowing you for like a short time, like I know that your interpersonal skills are pretty damn good. Like you control your emotions in a good way. You're even keel, like more on the happy side and all that. So that's actually a very rare thing. And you're not always just like, oh, I just want to be the star of the show or whatever. Like being able to read the room and see yourself in it as well, like that's super key.
Yeah, for sure. I always try to keep keep moving forward kind of mantra in my head. Keep moving forward. Nothing. Try to keep the thoughts that would kind of hinder you, I guess, or make things worse. Try to keep those out of my head.
Yeah, I was actually interesting that you say that. Listening to Andrew Santina on Joe Rogan's podcast yesterday, and he was saying the same thing about like basically this golf book, because Santino was trying to play golf and he's just getting frustrated, because like he'll hit a ball and one of the caddies was like, hey, just it's 100 pages, you're just gonna zoom through it, and he's like, oh, this is like more about life than it is golf, because it's talking about like the elite athletes, elite golfers are able to just focus on, okay, it went into the pond, or like, not, you can't do anything in the pond, but like, let's say it just went into the grass, whatever. They're just focusing on that. And then as soon as it's done, they're not even thinking about it. They're thinking about, okay, it's already gone. I'm just like trying to like, what could I do the best right here? Like
what's my next move?
Yeah, it's easy to say.
You can't change the past.
But if you actually know that, if you know that concept, then you could train yourself to be more and more like that every day.
That's a topic you could take anywhere with you. Video games, I use that all the time.
Yeah.
Coding projects, I use that all the time. If I make a mistake, the implementation I use doesn't work. Okay, what else can I do? What can I change about what I've done here and make it better so that it'll work?
Yeah, it doesn't help you to like dwell on it too much. It's like, okay, what lessons did I learn from that? Okay, done.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know how many people don't understand that?
It's crazy, yeah. That's something that you very well need in your future. You always need that.
Yeah, I mean,
those are the kind of skills that you pick up on your own.
Hopefully, not everybody.
You can give much guidance to picking that up.
Yeah, you can.
I don't know.
Okay, so this is how I learned to be how I am today, was by seeing a lot of bad examples, and realizing, where's that leading to? I'm like, shit, that's a dark road, let's do the opposite and see if it works. Oh shit, like, it works a little bit. I don't know everything. Like, let's try this way more. Not everybody, because I think for you, it just innately comes so naturally. You think that
maybe
you can't teach that to anybody. Most people just pick it up on their own. No, like, there's a lot of people with emotional, disturbances and all this other stuff, so yeah, like, for me, that was a little bit of a challenge, because growing up in kind of like a Slavic Soviet family, you're a little bit more on the pessimistic side, and like I told you, my dad doesn't help the situation. and then it's like, I saw a lot of my siblings just kind of like almost like destroying themselves emotionally and then mentally, by just sitting there and dwelling on things and all that. And I'm just like, all right, well, tweaking out. What does this
say? I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think this is recording.
Yeah. So basically, I started to see that because, like, I was the 10th in our family. So I had a lot of, like, soldiers go out into the field and, and be like, oh, well, I don't want to go down that route. I don't want to go. I think that was the benefit that I had to that, and the fact that you probably had parents that were both kind of like more optimistic and all that, that's lucky and that's awesome. But yeah, definitely, like, they probably don't have everything that I'm not sure, maybe like it's exactly everything that you want, but like for me, there's a lot of things that I knew that, like, I needed to work on, I think, for myself. But like, I had to get over the fact that, like, I can't really hate my parents, because like they grew up in a certain time and all that, like, they did the best they could, honestly. But I think basically the long term point that I'm trying to make is, like, no matter what, like, I think you just have to continually, till the day that you're like, I don't know, 90 or 100, close your eyes for the last time, just continually be learning and trying to improve and all that. I think that's key, and you'll end up being happier in life if you do that. If not, if you just think like, I think I know everything. I've seen a lot of those people, and it's like, dude, you still got a lot of years ahead of you, and you just end up being really dumb 60-year-old.
Yeah, for sure. I think one thing I did have different than you, though, I was a fifth in my family, I guess, of this generation. I had my two older cousins both go to college before I did. One went to nursing school. The other one's in pharmacy school right now. Mm-hmm. My older cousin, the one right above me, he was a computer science major as well. So I've always had this, I guess, idea of a certain level that my generation should be achieving, at least academically. Yeah. And it's hard to like live up to what my cousins did, because they were also those kind of people that were just really smart, 4.0s, all that, and trying to keep that same kind of level that our parents expect. Our parents expect us to be very good academically. Yeah. You have to learn these kind of things of, how can I improve myself? Nobody else can teach me that. I have to learn that on my own. You kind of had to just do that on your own, because you have a different goal than most people do. I just want to keep the same kind of expectations that my parents have had, or that my family has academically. Keep that going, and not let smaller things, which appear small to me, might appear bigger to somebody else. Like learning on my own, self-learning. That should be something I already know. I can't let that be my hindrance to doing.
So going back to the movie and the point that we were kind of exploring, you never came to a really big, like, wall where you hit like, oh man, I don't know if I want to even do any of this shit. I just want to maybe ride my bike for fucking, 2-3 years, across the country or something like that. You just really felt like that urge. You never had that, like, right? But like, what if your kid has that and they're like, Dad, I don't want to go to school, or like, I don't want like this, what you expect of me. Like, how would you help him navigate through that? Because for him, that's probably going to be scary too. Like,
that'd be pretty scary for me, to be honest, too, because my parents have always had a very realistic approach, and I feel like that kind of carried on with me. I've always been a realist, and if my son or daughter doesn't want to go to college, especially in the time that I will have kids, it's like, it's not going to be realistic to me. That idea is not going to be able to stick in my head. So am I going to have to kick them out, or what am I going to have to do? I'm not even going to know what to do there. There's no book on that.
There is, though.
Yeah, the book is close the door and lock it. Like, that'll just be another learning experience for me. And hopefully one that will never have to repeat again.
But check this out, because I thought about this myself, right? Like, what if my kid is completely different to me, right? Like, I mean, genetically, right? You could hit any kind of lottery, right? Even though the kid is obviously going to have some traits of me, some traits of Sveta, and we're going to be recognizing those things. But like, emotionally, he might be like, hey, I don't value this, or I don't want to do this, or like, I'm trying to find like things that like would be really like repulsive to me or something like that. But like, every parent finds that a lot of times, and like how you navigate through that with your kid, that will really either help that kid become that unique individual that does something awesome, or they just wilt and, and then you're sad and the kid is sad.
Yeah, so if I have kids, I really hope they have the kind of brain I have that just wants to keep moving forward. But if that doesn't happen,
what are you going to do? You going to read some books?
I don't know what I'm doing there, man.
Really? You haven't thought that far?
I'm 21, man.
Okay.
I'd be cool with no kids.
No. I think at a certain point, you probably want some kids.
We'll see. I need a job first.
Yeah. Obviously, we're thinking of it. No, but like,
that's not realistic at this point.
This is the kind of shit that I was thinking, like, even, dude, I started to get gray hairs when I was like 16, dude. Because I was like thinking about way too much shit.
Dude, I don't even know. I got brown hairs in my beard. Brown. Nobody in my family has brown hair.
Listen, I don't think you stress out. Like, that's probably the worst thing you're gonna get, because you're jet black. I don't know.
No, it's not even brown. It's like cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
Yeah.
It's California, bro. Like, you see those Beach Boys and everything. Like, they're always.
I'm always inside.
Whatever. It like, your body senses that you're in California. That's what it is.
I'm moving.
Yeah, but I guess, hopefully I think you're just gonna. I think knowing you probably figure it out. Like, even if your kid was just like completely, I don't want to do this or that. You
kind of have to figure it out, right?
Yeah, because like, you seem like you figure it out with other people that are just outside of like your wheelhouse of personalities. You get along with everybody. So if your kid was a complete like just, I don't know, like emo or something like that, you'd be like, all right, man, like, how could I help this kid encourage to like maybe steer away from that, maybe a little bit happier? You probably,
I don't know, man. I might be emo, dude. All my clothes are black.
No, because it's like, it matches your hair. Like, I get it. And it's not that. You don't seem like an emo guy.
Nah, yeah. I don't know. I think the proper guidance as we're growing up, not being too strict, but not being too lax. Yeah. I think my parents had a really good parenting style.
Yeah.
A lot of topics that I would translate on moving forward. Just, it's all guidance. It's always the parent that kind of.
Parent has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
With that, that kind of determines how the kid will be.
Again, what do you think about the argument about innate and nurture versus nature. Like some people say it's one or the other, or what about genetics?
I don't think it can be one or the other. You have to have a balance. Everything in life has a balance.
Yeah, but like, guess what? If you were born with some fucked up balance mentally, or whatever.
But I still think everybody has a balance. It might be different from each person, but everybody's got to find it. There's always
hopefully
like
you're intelligent enough to realize that I want to strive towards a balance and seek that out because I'm a little bit off balance one way or the other. Not everybody realizes that. Again, like, because you grew up kind of like at 21, I don't think you really had like an emo side to yourself or anything like that, right? Hey, but man, you see a lot of kids, right? I mean, we all go through like our own little figuring ourselves out, like, so they say like terrible twos and terrible teens, like,
oh yeah, for sure.
It's true because what happens when you're two? You're finally realizing like, oh shit, I'm not just existing. I have some preferences. How could I communicate? I can't.
Teens.
Yeah. I can't even say anything. And like, you're getting frustrated. I'm like, oh, this kid is just like emotional. Like, no, he's trying to, like, he can't even say anything. He's just figuring out that he has his own. And in your teens, it's like, it's even a bigger angst because you're like, holy shit, like, I have to figure out what the fuck I want to do for the rest of my life. Like,
no, there's not much guidance on that.
Exactly.
You have to just kind of figure it out on your own.
Yeah, and then
it's a lot to take in.
Crush under that weight, so yeah, that's why you get like those like depressive kids or whatever, because like, oh fuck, like, I don't know, just
don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, so
I completely understand it.
But that's what I'm saying. What if your kid is gonna be emo? You weren't.
Like I said,
you like, keep moving forward at it.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah, that's actually the best.
And like, I kind of learned by example. Like, my parents got a really nice house, and like the life we have is really nice, and like, I want that. I want better. I want to keep upgrading. Like, that's just, I don't know. That's something.
Now you say keep moving forward, right? Here's what my dad made a mistake of, right? He would repeat these things, and eventually they don't even have a meaning. So it's like, hey, don't just repeat it, because I could start repeating the same word over and over again. Literally, you start hearing it differently and it doesn't even have the same meaning, right? My dad didn't realize that. Like, he says this like cliche thing. It made a lot of sense to him, and he still understands what it means. Like, hey, sit down and go deeper and further with your kid. Like, hey, this is what I mean when I say that. Like, this is an example like in my life where like I realized this is where I got that lesson. Like, keep moving forward. Like I came to this problem and I came to this kind of emotional state. I was like, I just got to keep moving forward. And that's what it means to me. So it's a mantra to me, and I hope that you kind of develop your own version of that and realize that you just have to keep on saying that to yourself. Mantras are good because
sure.
It keeps you on the right track without even you knowing. And eventually you're just doing it automatically. But don't just assume that your kid's going to go like, oh yeah, keep moving forward. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I learned keep moving forward from this YouTuber I watched. His name's TJ Hunt. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I've never. No.
He's a car YouTuber.
Okay, gotcha.
And I saw what he went from to what he is now, and it's like crazy. Just those 3 words. He went from like a very dark, kind of, I guess, suicidal state, and now he's got his own house. He's got like a Supra. He's got a GT3 RS. He's got all these different cars, a Lamborghini. Just those 3 words, and it, obviously a YouTube channel, but
keep moving forward. Yeah,
he says at every end of every vlog or video, peace out, keep moving forward. That's his end. How he ends his vlogs. It's like, I thought it was kind of cheesy at first when I watched it. This was like 4 years ago.
You didn't know his story.
I didn't know it, and then I learned it, and I was like, that I should apply this to my life. Keep moving forward, and have my own version of what I'm moving forward toward. Yeah. Like, keep moving forward.
Yeah, make it your own. Yeah.
To me, I don't let my mistakes bring me down. I'm not going to let a mistake that I make like cause me to fail. I'm not going to let myself fail because of something I did. I'm going to keep trying to get better, keep moving forward.
Obviously, there's extremes in this life, though, right? Because, I mean, right now we don't even want to think about, what some people in other countries go through. Like, imagine telling yourself keep moving forward in some of those, extreme situations. But guess what? Like, you don't know where your life is going to lead you, So you have to make sure that you understand exactly what that means. And even in those tough situations, like, you have to have that. The communication that you have with yourself is, I think, number one. Because I meet a lot of nice people. They're so nice to everybody else. But, like, you start to see, like, they get super down and depressive and everything because they're super mean to themselves. And it's like, holy shit, dude. Like, the number one person that you should be nice to, you forgot about that. Like, so yeah, the kind of communication that you have with yourself, like, keep moving forward, all that other stuff. Super important. And super check that. Like, hey, am I talking to myself the right way? And then check. Obviously, it's for you, it's easy to check yourself how you talk with other people. But, like, a lot of people forget to check themselves, how they talk to themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going back to that, kind of have the idea of balance again.
Mm-hmm.
Not just speaking nice to yourself, but also, like, keeping yourself in check.
Oh, yeah.
Big idea, too.
Don't be just like, oh, yeah.
You don't want to be
yeah.
saying stuff, like, bad stuff to yourself. That sounds fine. Like, I could say it.
Or just nice stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Keep in check. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you got to find a balance. Like I said, there's always a balance.
All right. So, like, listen, the reason why, okay, the reason why I kind of, like, me and you connected was because I kind of recognized that in you, that you were just, like, you seem like a kid that, like, just no matter what, like, keeps it upbeat, whatever, like, doesn't get down on himself too much, like, is happy, able to communicate with anybody. You do realize it's kind of rare, especially at your age, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. It is pretty crazy, too, because, like, 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't have been like that.
Yeah. Okay, so
I was a lot more introverted, quiet. Yeah. I guess, I mean, once I got to know somebody, I'd be like this, but I was always like that. I don't know what happened, or I just started being more outspoken, I guess. I don't know what happened.
Keep moving forward. You just allowed yourself to, like, hey, I learned this, like, just move forward. That's already in my wheelhouse.
I think what happened is, like, I stopped looking at every situation so seriously. Just be like, I'm just going to go and do whatever. I'm just going to go be me.
Yeah.
I don't have to care what other people think of me.
Yeah, and this person might judge me, or maybe they're not even. And
even
that's
if they do,
head,
I don't really care. I don't have the time to care.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened, and, like, why I started being more outspoken when I go out to, like, hang out with friends, and, like, there's people I don't know. I'm kind of shedded that introverted state. Came out of my shell a little bit more. I think it's for the better too, because it helped me in my interviews for sure.
Oh yeah.
If I was introverted, I wouldn't talk to the interviewee
for
or
sure.
to the interviewer, and that would be a big problem.
Your personality, and they'd be like, I guess this kid, or whatever.
I need to be confident in myself.
Yeah,
that's the main thing they want to see, and I got to be confident in myself.
Confident without cockiness, and then, humility without being too down on yourself. Like you said. Fucking balance, dude.
There's always a balance.
No, till this day, I learn new things about myself, and there's always things to improve on yourself. Like, oh my God, man. Like, I've been realizing so many things because, like, I have the time off. And a lot of, yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just like, it's interesting. I think, here's the thing. So in our family, this is where I was getting at, right? We have 11 kids and 5 brothers. I'm the 10th sibling, so almost the last. But I have one younger brother, 5 years younger. I think the emotional intelligence is not quite there. I'll say that. That's like a struggle for a lot of them. I think that's more than anything, super key in the modern age is like if you don't have emotional intelligence, you're gonna lag in everything. You're not gonna have the motivation to succeed in school. You're not gonna have the motivation to succeed in business, in your personal life, in your relationships. Like, dude, relationships, it's all about emotional intelligence. If you can't keep your shit together, how the hell are you gonna, be able to calm the other person down, like when you guys are upset or whatever? And like, yeah, I think more than anything, emotional intelligence probably is in society the most important. Obviously, it's really nice when you're gifted, like you're able to understand, math, like, and all these theoretical concepts of math or physics or whatever. That's awesome. But if you don't have your shit together, like you don't have a successful like life outside of that, like, are you really happy though? So I think emotional intelligence probably ties into everything. Like, if you understand yourself better, you can understand the world better. You could be more successful yourself. Whether it's like you want to be successful in your career, like as a professor or whatever, it's all about understanding your emotional intelligence. I think that's it. I guess that's what it is.
There's so much more to being book smart. You got to be street smart too.
It's true, but I think that's if you really like kind of tie it down to like, if you want to be smart in one thing, I'd rather be smart with my emotions. Mm-hmm. I'd value that over everything. Like, because if I'm not that good, like physically, right? But I know how to kind of get my body better. If, like, I understand myself better. Like, I understand my emotions, my motivations. I can make myself better because I'm emotionally intelligent and I know how to motivate myself and make myself go towards that. If I'm maybe lacking in career, right? But I'm emotionally intelligent. And I know, like, okay, well, I have to, first of all, be in the right group of people. If I want to move to like a certain department or whatever, I have to put my face in front of them more often, like interact with them, find out how they got there. Like I said, like, I think everything really ties into like emotional intelligence. Like, if you really want to be successful or happy or whatever, that's more than anything. Like, that's number one above everything. Obviously, it's awesome if you got the looks or if you got the brains or whatever. Those are all givens. Not everybody has the emotional intelligence. It's like, but I think everybody could work on it, though. That's the one thing that, honestly, that's the super important thing. But everybody could actually, that's the one thing that everybody can improve on. You can't improve on your fucking high jump. You can't improve on this or that. But everybody could work on their emotional intelligence, I think. I mean, there might be some, extreme categories where some people, I don't know, like Asperger's or something. I don't know. Like, yeah. But even those people, like they realize, oh, I have this challenge or this. I actually don't even know like Asperger's exactly. I never really looked into it that much. But, like there are certain categories of extremes of humanity, like where maybe like emotional intelligence is a challenge.
Would you say all this time off and like the pandemic kind of hindered that, or was it made it better?
Way better.
Really? I feel like a lot of people were like affected by this time off and just away from being from people.
I think in such a fucking positive way. I think, like, because some people think, oh, people were down. Listen, I talked to a lot of people that were making jack shit, and now they're, got some stimulus or whatever. Now they're buying cars and shit like that. They're doing
financially, they were helped, yeah.
Okay.
But emotionally, like just being on their own, do you think people were better off or people were worse?
So when you are forced to interact, like going to work or whatever, it's not necessarily positive. So like when you were allowed to be on your own, you were allowed to figure out what actually matters to me. Like, what career do I want to? Because, like, you're not thinking about, like, what the fuck you want to do when you're in the middle of doing it, right? So for the first time in their life, they were allowed this opportunity. So I think it did so much good, actually. You think so?
I don't know.
Okay, tell me
I
your
feel like
version of it.
I feel like it's kind of mixed. Like, I feel like people had good experiences with it and people had bad experiences with it. Like, I feel like some people are just less likely now to interact with other people. You understand kind of what I'm saying?
Like parties and things like that?
Yeah, like, I guess people feel more awkward now.
Oh,
after being stuck home for so long, just going out to, like,
dude,
social
I'll
people,
tell
like,
you
people,
this.
I feel like people don't know how to interact anymore.
On my own personal experience. So, I was driving trucks for, like, the longest time, and I realized, oh my god, dude, I have 0 friends. And I was like, every interaction is so anxiety inducing, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta get back to, like, society. Every time I'm back in town, I gotta go find some friends. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. In that sense, I think you're right.
Yeah,
but I think it'll get back to normal, though.
It will. Yeah, I mean, we're getting out of it now. I think people are starting to interact more. But, like, I have a wedding coming up in August.
Mm.
I'm wondering how that's gonna be. Like, the moments without alcohol when everybody's sober. Is it just gonna be super awkward?
I don't think it's been long enough that it's gonna be that awkward. I think people are gonna actually appreciate that much more. It's actually gonna be better, I think. Because yeah, I'd be curious to see if, like, you had the negative version of that, because I think it's gonna be way positive. Because, like, people are gonna be more appreciative of the fact that they're, oh my god, I get to see these people. I haven't seen them in a long time. Like, it's actually gonna be, yes, like, the longer you stay in one state, I think that's another thing. That's another key. Like, don't stay in one state for too long, because it's not a balance, right? So, but we were a little bit out of balance, I think, because we were just, like, hustle bustle, like, all this, like, fuck.
All of a sudden you're stuck. You can't do anything.
But also look at, okay, it's not going to be forever, right?
That is true.
So what is the positive that you take out of this, you know? And dude, like, change of state is always good. Like, you don't realize some of the lessons that you learn from like a different position in your life. Initially, people are just, like, down, or they don't know, like, oh fuck, I was on this trajectory. Hey, just sit with it. Like, think about it. And a lot of people, the successful ones, the emotionally smart ones, they move on stronger from a change of course and change of, state. So you gotta take the best out of everything. Like, that's another thing. Like, it's being optimistic versus pessimistic. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like, you could look at anything, like, oh, this sucks. Yeah, but I think, like, if you don't dwell on it too much, that, like, because I think I'm a little too optimistic sometimes. But I think honestly, personally, and what I see in a lot of other people, it actually did a lot of good, a lot more good than it did, like, bad. But yeah, like, it didn't go to the extreme that I had. You know, like, I fucking didn't have any friends. So you didn't get to that point.
I mean, I was always talking to my friends just online. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, Facebook was just starting then, you know, and it's not like even that. Like, I was like, fuck, I have one friend, maybe.
I'm just gonna add random friends. So
yeah,
it looks like I have friends.
You look interesting. I don't fucking know you, dude. No. Yeah. So yeah. I don't think it went that far. But yeah, I think there are some people that, like, literally became more depressed and all that other stuff. But because I think probably those people was because, like, for me, right? Even though I don't go to work because of my back injury right now or whatever. But I still try to maintain my social connections through social media.
Now here's an interesting idea.
Okay.
I was just thinking about this the other day. What if this pandemic happened in 2007? No social media.
Oh, people would be way more affected.
Imagine how much, like a whole, what has it been? A year? 2 years? How long has it been? A year and a half?
Yeah, about 2 years. Yeah.
That long in like isolation with not much social media help. You don't get to see your friends online or what they're doing all the time. It's just like texting with that. Remember that slide phone?
Yeah.
Where you text with the little keyboard? Just that. And you have like, you're limited to like 250 texts.
Yeah, so we don't live that bad, right? I think society keeps actually moving on a higher trajectory. So, like, society as a norm is actually optimistic, and the world is optimistic. Okay, you don't tell me.
I don't know. I feel like the world has a very pessimistic look. Everything online is.
But you've heard the term, the emptiest can rattles the loudest, right? So they finally have a microphone. Guess what? They're gonna fucking scream at it.
That is true.
Because like if you're happy, you're content, you're just like chill. You know, like you're not out there like fuck you. You know, like so that's all you see. Huh?
They were like that.
Who?
There's people out there all the time.
Oh yeah. But this is the first time that you're seeing it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's why it seems like, oh, that's the world. It's not the world, you know, because like if you watch the news, you might think that you're gonna get shot like as soon as you step out of this fucking door, bro. So
the news is very
what you hear over and over again. That's what you think. So check your channel, basically. But like that's the only thing that I think that like might confuse you. It's like no, I think overall the fucking world is pretty happy. And like going happier and happier, like by the decade. Like imagine, bro, 30 years ago, like even the place where you came from, where I came from, like, geez, I would not want to be there, 30 years ago. Yeah. We're moving in a better trajectory. Like, I mean, there's even like studies done, the deaths and wars and all that, like the statistics of dying by another person are way less now. It might seem like it's not because every time you guess what? News, if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead, So like that's why people get this skewed view because like that's what grabs your attention. You're not even like, oh, the kitten was playing with the ball. You're like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like tell me something. I want to make sure I learn something that like I could avoid danger or something. Like so obviously they know what to sell, to you to keep your attention. But if you think that that's all that's out there, and like you have to, like with anything, zoom out. I think that's the key. Also, like that's what I learned, like just recently. Like, 'cause, like I said, I've been thinking about a lot of shit. Just always zoom out. Whatever, like you feel like, if you're angry or like you're stuck or confused, especially when you're stuck, just zoom out. Or like you're feeling down about something, you think like, oh, the world is, probably more pessimistic or whatever. Zoom out. That's bullshit,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. I've always looked at it from like the individual point of view. I really don't care about the group point of view. Mm-hmm. I'm more focused on myself and how I view things and see if that's like, do I agree with this? Do I agree with that?
Yeah, some people might take that as selfish, but like I actually started understanding that much more. It's like you can't do much about what's going on around you a lot of times,
especially with like world.
Focus on yourself.
Things in the world, you can't control what's going to happen.
Yeah,
you have to just know what to expect within yourself.
Yeah, I mean, not to get too like philosophical, but. Basically my view is like certain people, like they try to find that one person that will make them happy in their life. It's like, dude, what happens when that person dies? They could
currently
just
looking for that person.
Girls.
But swipe right on my Tinder.
Shout it out. No, but like in a realistic sense, like, yeah, you wanna find somebody that like makes you happy and all this, but as morbid as it might sound, like you also have to keep on checking yourself. Like, hey, what if the unfortunate happened? Like, yo, would I be able to figure this out? Would I be able to move on? You know, like, so I think this is what I was actually, like I said, I had a lot of time to think when I was driving trucks, you know? And I was like, well, okay, I probably would like a girlfriend at some point, you know? And I was like, all right. What was that?
I said, come on, man.
Right? It was like,
right after.
First friends. And then... And so I was like, all right, you know, I'm probably not that bad looking, right? Okay, but everything else was like, all right, like, probably want this kind of girl, right? I want this kind of a woman. I want a person that has, I was like, well, okay. I painted this picture. I'm like, well, she's looking at me. Like, is she looking at me like she wants me? Like, or is that person like kind of a little too high up there? I'm like, all right, that's not a problem either, right? Because I'm like, now I'm like, oh shit, okay,
a challenge.
Yeah, let's get up there, you know. So and then it was almost like a fun game. I just always wanted to get better and better and better and better, and then eventually I was like, hey, I'm actually pretty happy, like no matter what situation. And I know what I want. I know the kind of person that I want. And now I'm able to recognize whether it's that kind of person or not because I worked on myself. And I see what I project out into the world and what people try to project out into the world, like that bullshit. So what was the point that we were talking about?
I don't even remember. I think it was like moving on from that person that you had so much invested into. Like if they were something catastrophic to happen or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Can you move on? Can you move forward from that?
Yeah. Okay. So that major point was when you, like you were saying, like focus on yourself, almost like be selfish in that respect. Build yourself so that like shit happens in life, you know. Eventually your partner might die before you, or let's say if you are going to be in a relationship, you instill that into your wife to be strong in case anything happens to you, that she doesn't just lose her shit.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, I always would like saw this picture. I'm like, dude, maybe I'm strong enough to find somebody that I could like bring up to my level. I don't actually mind that, right? But I expect you to fucking try to get up to that level, you know? We're going to keep on keeping on, you know, moving up. But I could never be okay with a person that expects me just to be their answer to everything. Like, because first off, I will never be. And that is inside of you that you have to find. And then if anything happens to me, people lose their fucking minds. They die of heart attacks. Like all this. Find that within you. Like that's the thing. Be selfish in that respect by finding that happiness, that strength inside of you. And then either instill that into the person that comes along, that catches your eye, you know, the glimmer, you're like, oh, and then you start working on that like emotional intelligence with them as well, you know?
Yeah, I think a thing with a lot of the girls, at least my age, is that they don't realize that. They don't have that kind of idea that they need to be selfish in some aspects of themselves. And that's why they kind of go towards more older guys, at least.
Yeah, because they're seeking that like emotional stability and all that other stuff. Yeah. I think it's always been that way. But
like, why though? Why is that such a problem?
For like why girls seem like they're not, or
Yeah,
what?
like what causes that kind of mentality?
It could be,
Instead of working on myself,
it-
I'm just gonna find the next best thing.
it could be seen a different way also. It's like, okay, so like I dealt with the same shit too, right? I'll tell you this. Because I was growing up, I was like, dude, I'm fucking like good looking, I got my shit together, whatever. And I'm like, fuck, like like a lot of these girls are like looking for like an older guy. And I'm like, okay, for a relationship, what the fuck around? Now let's figure out. And then I'll get to that stage. Because I think, honestly, when it comes down time to like settle down, you want to be a little bit older. Like to raise a family and things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Take your time. Maybe if you find that person, wait to have kids, probably, I think. Like I always thought like, dude, I'm probably ready to have kids. Every couple of years that pass by, I'm like, holy shit, I've learned so much. I don't want to wait too long, right? But a lot of guys like think like, at 20, I fucking learned everything that I'm gonna learn. Like, I'm ready to have kids. Like, you're gonna make some fucking major mistakes. And that's why I think girls kind of look for that like slightly older guy and whatever, because they want them to have like, they're looking for stability, emotional stability, the financial stability, all that other stuff. And like, that's not a bad thing for you, like, it's like, dude, you got time to figure out, like, no matter what age, you're still gonna be fertile, dude. You can fucking have kids. Like, dude, what are you rushing into? You want to have that partner. I know you want to have like that person that like you find that you can connect with, you can click with, all that. That's like a really good desire. Like, but outside of that, it'll give you the emotional strength to not confuse when you find that. Like, okay, you don't have that right now. Just revert back to being selfish. Like, hey, I'm gonna work more on myself and like think about more about like, okay, what kind of person? Because like, what the kind of person that I thought I wanted when I was like younger. Yeah, not the person that I probably would still be with. So that's also like, just whatever it is, just step back, zoom out, and revert back to it. Like, because.
It's not an idea I've dwelled on a lot. It's just I've always been pretty self-sufficient. I've always had like goals and stuff that I want that I don't need anybody else for. I could do this all myself. Yeah. But like, it would be nice to have somebody else there.
100%.
But if they're not there, I could still do some of my own. I'm not worried.
Now,
constantly worried about that.
I'm asking you a real question right now. What kind of girl do you think is going to want to be with Aaron?
Dude, I don't even know, man.
Yeah, see? But like that's probably honest.
I have things I would want in a girl. But is it realistic that the girl I find will have everything I want? No.
Or is that girl going to find everything in you?
Yeah.
Right? So like at this point, you probably don't know well enough about other females to know like, hey, what kind of female would actually want me, right? So you have that time to figure out.
That's why I'm not worried about that idea. I'm just more focused on myself. I guess I am selfish in some aspects, and that I'm like, 100% okay with that.
Though. Yeah. But like, here's the thing, right? Again, it's almost like I have like an engineering brain when it comes to like social intelligence, because I was like, I have 0 friends. That's not good. The math is not adding up, right? And then I was like, all right, so if I'm just gonna be hanging out with guys, that's probably not where I'm gonna find my girl, right?
That is 100% true, unless you flip.
I wasn't, do you? But like, I wasn't that way.
That's not an option for me, at least.
Yeah. So I was like, I gotta be in mixed groups more, know. And it's like you start seeing different personalities, how they interact, like in the natural environment, the gazelle. And she's also looking at you the same way. It's like you don't want to just go on a date the first fucking time that you met her. It's like this awkward situation. She's gonna pretend to be something that she's not, right? So like I always want to be like around mixed groups, and like I think you're doing the right thing. Like I mean, I've seen you. You're always in parties, and like everybody's there, not just guys, not just girls, and you start to get that like information, you know, expansion. Yeah. You're just like, oh, I'm getting a clear picture of what I want and what that other person might want, and like, okay, yeah. So I think you'll be all right, bro.
I'm only 21. I got time.
Yeah.
If it's an Indian girl, that'd be interesting.
So how?
Because I don't see many of them here.
Yeah, yes and no. Well,
actually, let me ask you: were your parents fixated you on you having a Russian girlfriend? Or were they open to anything?
It's never like explicit, you know, but it's almost like,
it's expected.
It's almost like, yeah.
It's kind of the same way as me.
Yeah.
Like if I started dating a white girl, they probably wouldn't be okay with that. But it's kind of my choice, so they kind of have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
But it's like, are they okay with it? I don't know.
I think your parents have their shit together pretty well. I think whatever you choose.
I mean, my parents are pretty forward thinking. They're not stuck in past generations. Like,
yeah. So why are you putting yourself in the box then?
I was just wondering. I'm just like, because they kind of are and they kind of aren't.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like, if I was white, I wouldn't have to deal with this.
So here's the thing. I think this is where like it's an interesting point. It's like, so when you're out there at parties and like you find this beautiful like Indian girl, it's like, all right, let me get to know her. That would be awesome, right? But if outside of that, like you said, like in Sacramento, there's not a whole lot, or maybe you got to go outside of the social groups that you are now.
Probably, yeah.
You know, and I mean, you know, for me it was easy because like most Russians in this community just kind of more about like church and things like that. So like, you know, like even though they're not really religious, but you know, that's where you find them, you know, or whatever. And through that, that's a close knit community of people. And outside of that, I don't know. Do you guys have anything like that, like in your culture?
I mean, yeah, we go to a temple on Sundays, so I guess there is that, but like the temples are just weird. Yeah, that people.
There's not really like a youth there, is there?
Not really. It's mainly older generation. Like I said, when you move to America, you kind of shed past traditions, I guess. The temple is always going to be there. You'll go, but it's not like I'm going every Sunday.
Yeah.
It's I go every once in a while, and now
it's okay. That's bad. We're sifting through that, right? That's not a good option.
It's not a good option. I mean, it's kind of weird to hit on a girl at the temple too.
No, well, obviously you don't. But I'm saying like, yeah. So when it was like Sunday school or whatever, you see like
I hate Sunday school.
I know, but I'm saying like we're not talking about like you see it. Listen, you get what I'm saying, right? So if you meet any other families, right, that are Punjabi, right, they might be either successful or whatever, right? What do they do socially, and what do their kids do socially?
Yeah, it could be very different from what my family does too.
But there's some commonality.
There is some commonality for sure.
So what is it?
I don't know.
You got to figure this out, dude. You can figure out code. You can figure this out, bro.
It's COVID, man. Nobody hangs out anymore.
Listen, you got Instagram, you got Tinder.
I'm about to start DMing everybody.
Yeah. Swipe left, right. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? That's a good pickup line.
Yeah. What's your number?
It's funny. The other day I was talking to a few of my friends. We're in like I don't know if you've heard of Discord.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we were in a Discord call, and you can share your screen. We had a girl in there, and she's like, Go on Tinder real quick. I want to see what Tinder looks like for a girl. 99 plus likes. Every swipe right.
Yeah.
Match. Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
It's actually crazy how much. Like, it's easier for girls, I guess.
They have a choice because guys are very visually motivated.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, oh yeah, that's a match. And then the girl is like, well, shit, let me get to know him. Like, what's his brains and all that other stuff. That's why, like, for you to work on yourself, you got shit together. But like, you got to find yourself a girl. That's what we're trying to figure out right now. Tinder is
Bumble.
a good.
Okay, Cupid.
Bumble. Okay, Cupid. That's fucking.
Hinge. What else is there? Christian Mingle. Farmers Only. Blackpeoplemeet.com. I just won't be black.
Is there black people?
There is.
That's very, very transparent.
I mean, I guess it's allowed. And
No, I'm not saying anything. Like,
There's not an
I
Indian-
would come up with a more creative fucking.
we need an Indian dating.
Coding,
I'm about to make it.
bruh.
I'm gonna turn my slider up all the way so I match with everybody.
Listen. If you toss out ideas, this is actually like if you ever go and you want to do a patent or anything like that, this is actually evidence that today on this day,
Okay.
this is your idea was created.
You saw that the Indian dating app will be made, maybe, and it's a patent, and
Yeah.
you can't take it from me now.
No. And so we're hashing out this idea right now. Okay. We have to have a nice name.
A nice name.
Like catchy. It has to be simple. It has to be short. Like Tinder, Bumble,
Dude, I don't even know.
Punani.
That's not gonna work.
No. Because you're looking for a Punjabi girl, right?
I mean,
No. A little too.
I don't even know.
Okay.
I feel like the name will
we'll
come
skip
later.
the name for
The name
now,
will come
right?
later.
Yeah, okay, so how are you going to attract people to, like, hey, this is more like for like Indian, upwardly mobile.
If you're looking for an arranged marriage, this is the app.
No, I don't think you are though.
Dude, maybe I should just get an arranged marriage. That'd be a lot easier.
No.
Just mom, dad, find me somebody.
What if,
I'll come back.
what if you hate fucking stubby toes or like
Yeah,
or
who the fuck is this?
yeah, got a lazy eye or something? I don't fucking know.
Get her out of here. Get her out of here.
That shit.
Get her out of here. No.
We're not doing an arranged marriage app, okay? You already.
If you want to avoid an arranged marriage, this the app for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, that's obvious. I think like if you live in America, you're probably not looking for an arranged marriage, right? So we got that figured out. So how would you like farmers only? That's very obvious.
Indians only.
But yeah, but you can't. Oh, Indian farmers only. Tie in the whole.
We're gonna have branch off from just
Successful.
Indians only.
Oh.
We're gonna have Indian farmers only,
Dude, 'cause
Indian doctors only.
Yeah.
We're gonna go big. We're gonna have merch.
No. You want to cast a wide net. You don't want to like branch off. You want to cast as much of a wide net as you want.
Asians.
Yeah, but, I mean, you guys are kind of Asians, like
We are Asian.
not like what people think,
South
but, like,
Asian.
Yes. But dude, you're not helping yourself. Like I thought you were good, like programming, engineering.
Like I told you, man, it's such a big problem. We gotta break it down. How do we break down an Indian dating app?
Okay. There's core things that are valuable to specifically Indians in America, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I don't think it matters whether you're Punjabi or anything like that, right? You guys are all
I think we all have pretty much a very fundamental kind of principles that we all have. Yeah.
exactly.
I think
You
family
all want-
being the biggest thing for us.
Yeah, family, success.
That's what I've been with. Yep.
It's probably in that order.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, any third? Family success. Okay, so like, is there anything that you could like? Because Tinder is like fucking hot. Like Bumble. It's the Grinder. Like
Grinder.
It's gay app, right?
No.
So, like, it gets you like this visual, right? What's the specific Asian? But is it Asian Pacific region, or were you guys Asian?
South Asian.
South Asian.
Yeah.
Sorry. I apologize. You gave me
Man
this
doesn't
fucking
know
dirty
map,
ass look. I
apparently.
apologize, bro.
How do you not know where India
Fuck,
is?
you live in
man?
Sacramento. I'm stupid. I'm a truck driver, bro.
Hey, man, you probably met a lot of Indian truck drivers.
Yeah, more recently. All right, let's not get on the subject. So what were we were talking about? Okay, family and success.
Yeah. How do you show family and success in a dating profile?
No. In an app. You're building an app, bro.
But how do you showcase that in an app?
Are you just trying to set up your profile, or are you trying to build an app?
Both.
No, we could get on that. That's easy. We'll help you out. But this is gonna be your success story, bro.
Oh,
You're gonna build the
I didn't expect this to be my success story.
Listen. There is no Indian dating app.
There's gotta be.
We should look it up.
Look it up.
I'm looking it up right now then.
Just look at like Asian dating apps.
No, Indian dating app. Right here. Top 10 Indian dating sites. We tested
Bro.
the best
Oh,
sites.
I saw that one on TikTok.
Which one is it?
Dil Mill.
Dill.
You know what Dil means? Heart.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Dil is heart in Punjabi.
Oh, shit. That's
So,
cool.
Heart Mill.
Dude, we're over here fucking hashing out. Dude, you got beat to the fucking punch. You just got to make a Dill Mill fucking app. Or, I mean, profile.
Profile, okay.
So we're working on your profile now. How do you portray, like, you value family and you value personal success, financial success. It's just success.
Oh, dude, I have the picture that will showcase all of that. Where's my phone?
Talk to me.
Get my phone.
Go grab it. Go grab it. Because I've seen, like, the best Russian version of that. I was like, oh, shit. I was laughing my ass off.
Let me show you the picture that will win me every girl. Oh, you've seen it already, actually.
Oh, yeah. You'll have to, like, when you're editing, like, you'll have to not just put it up on the screen. Now explain to me, because I didn't quite get it, but, like, you did some time, like, editing that. That's some skills. So how to a girl that's, like, Indian that actually goes, oh, shit, what's up?
You gotta watch anime.
Oh, so you're tracking that.
No, I'm just kidding. I just thought that picture was funny. I got so many reactions out of that. It was so worth it.
It was hella tight. Dude, when I saw it, I was like, oh.
That was dope.
That was so you, though.
Dude. She said she has demons.
Where, bro?
I said where.
Slay them. There you go, dude. Just, you got to show your, dude, girls like a sense of humor.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously. It doesn't matter, like, Indian, American girl, Russian, whatever. Like, it's all sense of humor. So, I think you just got to profile some kind of app.
You know, and I'm like, after hours, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, probably just download it real quick.
Yeah, just download it real quick. Dill Mill, that's
Dill Mill.
You saw it, now we looked it up.
Such a dog shit application.
Yeah, you never even tried it.
I feel like nothing can compete with just the big Tinder and Bumble, I guess.
No, because listen, you're trying to hone in on a nice Indian girl, right?
Yeah,
or you don't care.
How many people use Dill Mill?
I don't know. You didn't really know about it until we fucking looked it up. So why don't you just do your research?
I saw it on TikTok, bro.
Okay. So next time we talk, I want to see your Dill Mill profile.
Just watch a dry ass profile.
Or your research that you did on Dill Mill. I don't want to know whether you could improve that.
All right. We'll talk.
Right? Engineering, programming, right?
We'll talk.
What?
I get hired by them. You don't know.
There you
You
go.
get hired by a dating app. Did I get the shirt? It says "Dude."
Dude. I got the biggest deal.
What's a deal?
Let's talk. Let me explain.
Imagine I work for Dill Mill. White girlfriend.
Yeah, I know, right? You just find out, she had the best heart,
Yeah.
There you go.
She looks white, but she's Indian.
It's actually not a bad name for an app.
That's
so
a great
before
name.
hating on it, do your research and you might even get hired. That's it,
Let's
dude.
see, bro. See where they're hiring.
Goals-
If they're in San Francisco, I'm not going there.
Remote, bro. Like technology.
It's surprisingly not a lot of it's remote.
More and more.
It's evolving.
Listen, this is how it works. Maybe entry-level job. You
Oh, yeah.
might need to eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Don't hate, be optimistic. Do your research.
I like being pessimistic.
Yeah, you seem like the kind of guy. All right, dude. We made plans. Next time we're sitting down, we're talking about like your research into
about my love life.
Obviously it always
All
comes
the
around
bitches
to
I
that.
get.
Yeah. We're bitches. Stay away from the demon bitches though. You don't want that.
I slay those. What do you mean?
Yeah, craziest in bed. All right, we'll talk about all that then. But no, like for real, look into that because you probably want to get hired. And that might not be a bad place to work if they're looking for, So next time, that's it, dude.
We'll see. I've been applying literally everywhere. Startups, big companies.
You haven't applied to Dill Mill, bro.
Have not applied to Dill Mill. I don't know what they're looking for, but it might be me.
You are not focusing on your true goals.
What are my true goals? You don't even
need
know
to get
them.
your dill out there. All right, bro. I'm sweating fucking balls. I don't want to turn on the AC with this mic on. So it was nice.
Yes, sir.
It was great. And yeah, next time we're talking about all of that.
Sure.
All right.